Hi everyone, I'm Elaine M. Bergstrom, an artist perspective, and today our little video is going to talk about drawing plein air. So I'm outside with my little portable easel, and I kind of staged the tree in front of me to kind of show you how I would approach it. And some of the things I bring with me are maybe a tree guide so I could look into it if I need more information, but I can always do that at home. And then I have my little bag of goodies. So I'm going to start out with my blue pencil, and I'll probably go to marker or pencil after that, so let me just find it. So it's basically just a little sharpener, Sharpie, and that I use, and then let's see if you can see it. It's almost like the old non-photo blue, but it's called Color Erase by Prismacolor. So what that will do is just kind of help me put it into place. So I clipped it. This is kind of awkward setup, so forgive me. It's hard to get a camera and an easel. Let's see if we can get this. There we go. Maybe it will hold it down for me a little bit better. So one of the first things is sizing. So if I take my pencil in front of me, and let's see if we can tip it to get, there we go, a little bit more tree. Won't be able to see as much of the drawing, but let's say the top of the tree is up here, and then the bottom of the tree is here. Then when I go to my page, it will hopefully fit in. So let's see if I could tip that. So it's at the very top, but it's not showing me the full part of the tree. Let's see. Kind of hard, I think, for you to see. So let me go to a pencil. But for yourself, it's very nice to use that. So that's the top of basically, the edge of the screen and down here. So mainly be focusing on the trunk of the tree. And then when I put it to the page, I know that that's the proportion of the tree. The next thing I do is I say, where's the halfway mark, maybe halfway point. So if this is the measurement, maybe where these two branches come out together, that's about halfway. So I can just eyeball that, and then I know that those two branches, let's see if I can point that out to you. This big, very long one on the right, and this one on the left. They're almost opposite each other, but not quite. So I'm just going to kind of get the shape in, and it's kind of a lean. The tree is leaning. And I know that this long branch is going out. Now, the other thing we didn't do is measure from width to width. So where's the widest part is at the top. So you can see where my point is, probably even further out. So it appears to be a lot wider on top, but we're not really seeing it. And I'm going to say maybe this is the halfway part of my tree. So I think it's really hard to see on the camera. So let me switch to marker. It, won't be as smooth. Let's see if this one. And then, go back to your blind contour, modified contour drawing, and be your turtle. Come around for the base of it. And just, creep your eyes real slowly. Observe, right? We're connecting with nature. And actually, this curves up and comes in front. So what's nice about the pencil is you can recorrect, but I always say it's a good idea to use markers because you have to observe better. So that one's kind of coming around. Didn't see that at first, and it actually comes, and it's part of that side of the trunk. There we go. I think you could see that a little bit better. And then, just from observation, this very long branch. Let's see if we get that in. And then follow the upper curve. So you have to think of branches as really cylinders. They're filled in the center. And this branch actually comes back here a little bit higher. So we can kind of, so if you were doing your non-photo blue pencil, you could definitely, and then if you look at that branch, let's see if I can point to it. This branch back here, it's kind of foreshortened. So ideally, there's kind of a piece up here, curves around. And then what's important, it might not be the best curve, but is to look at the space between this branch and want to create, which should be wider. And it's kind of bumpy, but this space right in here, the negative space, is important that way. And the branch curves, but so it would kind of get smaller as it goes off into the distance, something like that. But what's important is this branch could be a little bit lower, crosses over, and I keep somewhat of that negative space, and it kind of curves off. But just, what's fun about this drawing is you're taking your time. Now there's another negative space. So I just drew in, let's see if we can get the pencil in. There it is. Sorry. This is the easiest way. So not the first negative space on the left, but the next one where the branches are coming up. So the one on top of it actually looks like it's this branch here, curving around. And I just want to be conscious because there's a really nice negative space there. It kind of goes up. There we go. And this branch actually splits. So there is kind of a piece here, comes up, kind of has this little piece here. And again, there's some sort of big space back in here with some other branches. But I just love trees. They're great. There's all different kinds. Hopefully we'll get to do a live palm tree. So I see a couple of gals on, just say hi to Carol and Jean. Thanks for watching. And it's nice not to just put these out and then people watch them later. So, and that if you're observing back here, there's more active space. So there's kind of a lot of different things that I'm paying attention to put this tree together. And what I love about sketching is I can be much freer and I can learn about my surroundings. So I'm not even probably going to tackle all the leaves on it, but there's some wonderful, I call it Spanish moss, but somebody said it's actually not Spanish moss, so I'm confused, but maybe just some dangling pieces here, just to indicate it. It's lovely. And then if I wanted to, because actually, we said this was kind of the top of the tree from our camera view. And I'm seeing this edge of the pond. So it's a long vertical, so I have to think of that space and where is it curving along the tree trunk. It's not quite, it's a little bit more oval and a sharper edge. But it really teaches me about observing and what do I see. And then of course there's some sort of, bushes, and it kind of curves around there. Now, if I wanted to, I can try this just to see, but after I get in what I think is important about the tree, then I can look at it for possible shading. It seems like it's quite far from where you're looking, but you can see maybe, it's a little bit darker on this branch going up. And it's okay just to stop and look at what you're drawing. I think often we don't spend enough time in nature just kind of looking at it. And this tree kind of just, pulls back there, and there's just some of that dangling moss. I'm just indicating it with dots, or we call it stippling, just to kind of indicate it. And there is a lot of texture in this trunk. So I don't know offhand what type of tree it is, but I could stop and try an idea with a tree ID book, which is lovely. So I just looking at the curve here, maybe indicate, I can kind of cover up maybe some of the lines that I didn't intend to be there, just with some parallel lines. And then there appears to be another tree back here. So maybe I'll just indicate that. So I hope you'll start joining me in trying to sketch a little bit every day. It's very mindful, it's very relaxing, and I just love it. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I've said this over and over on several videos. But that just kind of gave some depth back here, and then it actually connects around this pond. I'm trying to think if the like a little sewer here. And if I wanted to, I could pay attention to the water. There's a lot of movement in the water. I don't know if you could see it, but I could indicate that with texture. So I still feel like I want to do something with this tree. Maybe it just needs some moss. It probably needs some shadowing. So back here, there's kind of more curves in that. And there's actually, let's see, this splits a little differently, but I'm learning about the trees. I'm connecting with nature, and that's really what this is all about. Is it does not have to be perfect. It can just be, what am I learning about? Then I might want to go close in, take a leaf off the tree if I could reach it. Maybe pull off some of that Spanish moss and kind of draw it. So let me just grab a little bit and connect it by earplugs. So give me a second. So I had to jump up and reach for the Spanish moss, but this is what is hanging on that tree. And boy, would I love to keep my sumi brushes right now just to do that, but maybe I could just clip it on the side of the paper or here and just kind of observe the movement that it has. It just reminds me of calligraphy. It's a good way to practice. And you could probably do 1,000 different Spanish mosses. But, you know, when you're really drawing this, it does have some dimension to it, and the edges come to a point. But there might be even a pattern to it. I don't know. I'm sure there is. But it's just dangling and fun. Maybe you don't even want that much. But there's all sorts of things in nature that you can just pick up. You know, if you're up north, the landscape is somewhat different. But just walk around and play. broken lines are kind of fun too with this. Now, as a nature journaling guide, I'd probably put some notes on here of, the time of day, what I see, what's around me. And it could actually be, the habitat, so I'm by the pond, the location is where I live, and I feel the breeze blowing. Maybe I'd want to indicate the breeze blowing. And, what else is going on. So we'll talk more about that in future videos. And before I end this quick little video, I do want to share 2 books. I'm just looking for my bag. Hold on a second. I have earplugs on because of the sound, but I'm sure you could hear me. So one of the books that I've had for years is Nature Drawing, A Tool for Learning. It's by Claire Walker Leslie. I've recommended her books for years in drawing classes, but she is one of the first people who started nature sketching, journaling outside, and helped combine the science of nature with drawing in a more sketchy drawing fashion than for scientists. But scientists do keep journals like this. And I started this when I was in many, many years ago studying some botanical illustration. But a newer book that's out is The Law's Guide to Nature Drawing and Journaling. And it's written by a guy named John Muir Laws. Originally, I thought he was connected to John Muir, but he's not. But he is a scientist, and his book is wonderful. He has one on birds, too, if you want it specifically. But he talks about the tools and everything and how to keep a journal. So, if you like to combine science with drawing in some way or exploring things, this is a great way to start. Just grab some paper, even clip it together, or paper clip it together. Grab a pencil, grab a marker, and just get outside and explore. As you start observing nature, you're going to connect, you're going to feel its presence, and you're going to hopefully get curious about what's out there. So I hope you've enjoyed this little nature sketching experience today. Please like and follow me. You can find all these videos obviously on this Facebook page, Elaine M. Bergstrom, An Artist Perspective, or you can share it with others who aren't on Facebook to follow me on YouTube. So until next Friday, have a great day.